Wow, are you ready for this? The market is on fire. This video was created by AI, but all information is pulled directly from top financial news sources including Yahoo Finance and CNBC. So everything you hear is real and up to date. Now let's dive into it. Well, look at Nvidia, it's been rising over 10% in just 6 sessions, and it's approaching that key $185 breakout level. Honestly, this is huge news for investors. And the stock market is following through with plenty of relative strength stock winners. Here is the thing, when you see a stock like Nvidia performing well, it can be a sign of a bigger trend. Now, let's talk about the Dow futures. They shot up 900 points. That's a massive move, and it's a sign that the market is feeling optimistic. But here's the thing, oil crashed 13% after Trump agreed to suspend bombing Iran for 2 weeks in return for the Hormuz Strait opening. That's a big deal, and it's going to have a ripple effect on the market. So what does this mean for investors? Well, now is the time to be paying attention. The stock market is volatile, and we're seeing some big moves. Look, I know some of you might be thinking, should I be buying the dip? And honestly, that's a great question. Here is the thing, when you see a market correction, it can be a great opportunity to buy in. But you have to be careful because you don't want to get caught in a downturn. And that's why it's so important to stay informed and up to date on the latest news and trends. Now let's talk about the Fed. They're still foreseeing a rate cut this year, despite the war impacts. That's a big deal because it could have a major impact on the market. And, well, it's something that we're going to be keeping a close eye on. So what about the Trump-Xi meeting? Well, according to Ray Dalio, it's going to focus on trade and capital flows. Honestly, this is a big deal, and it could have a major impact on the market. Here is the thing, when you see 2 major world leaders meeting to discuss trade, it's a sign that they're taking it seriously. And have you heard about the offbeat Wall Street research firm that sent an analyst to the Strait of Hormuz? Well, now that's a story. They wanted to see firsthand what was going on. And honestly, it's a bold move. But here is the thing, it just goes to show how important it is to stay informed and up to date on the latest news and trends. Now, let's talk about the stock market today. It dropped mildly on fragile ceasefire and hot inflation data. But look, oil stocks are rebounding. That's a sign that the market is feeling optimistic, and it's a good time to be investing. So what's the takeaway from all of this? Well, honestly, it's that the market is volatile and we're seeing some big moves. But here is the thing, that's what makes it so exciting. And if you're not paying attention, you could be missing out on some big opportunities. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, this is all well and good, but what about my portfolio? And honestly, that's a great question. Look, it's always a good idea to diversify and to stay informed. But here is the thing, you have to be willing to take some risks if you want to see some big returns. So what's the bottom line? Well, now, it's that the market is on fire, and it's a great time to be investing. But honestly, you have to be careful because it's also a time of big volatility. And that's why it's so important to stay informed and up to date on the latest news and trends. Like and subscribe,